Welcome to Public Works in your neighborhood. The focus of this program is to provide you with information about the important activities taking place within our Public Works Division here in the city of Fort Wayne. I'm your host, John Perlich. I oversee communications for Mayor Sharon Tucker's office as well as the Public Works Division. On this month's episode, we're going to focus on the city's traffic engineering department. My guests are Phil LaBrash, traffic engineer for the city of Fort Wayne, and James Wrights, assistant traffic engineer for the city of Fort Wayne. Gentlemen, thanks so much for being on the program this month.
Hi, John. Thanks for having us.
Phil, let's start with you. For viewers who may not be familiar with you, please share some background information about yourself.
Sure. This is my second year as the traffic engineer for the city of Fort Wayne. I've been in civil engineering for the past 15 years. Graduated from Valparaiso University, born and raised here in Fort Wayne, and raising a family with 4 kids.
James, same question for you. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, thank you, John. My first time here, and I appreciate it. I was actually born in a northern suburb of Chicago. Spent my elementary years growing up in the Phoenix area and moved to Fort Wayne back in 2006. So I graduated from Northrop High School, went to IPFW to get a construction engineering technology degree. After college, I started with the Allen County Highway Department, worked there for 2 or 3 years. Then I moved on to the city of Fort Wayne. I've been here for 7 years, one of which in traffic engineering now. I've got 2 kids. I've got twin boys that are 4 months at home.
All right. Congratulations to both of you. Phil, let's talk about the traffic engineering department, your role within that department. A very important, high profile here in Public Works Division is traffic engineering.
Yeah, traffic engineering is a pretty broad and far-reaching department in Public Works. Traffic engineering is responsible for the ongoing maintenance and refinement of the traffic control measures throughout the city. So that includes things like the traffic signals, the street lights, pavement markings, and the signage throughout the city. We also review development plans, so as people are building new businesses and adding on to existing ones, we're reviewing those access points to our roadway network. We also maintain the TREC site, which stands for Traffic-Related Events and Closures. This website displays where there are restrictions on our current roadway network, whether that be closures or lane restrictions, as well as the detour routes to take to get around those construction sites. So pretty broad-reaching department here at the city. My role in particular is to run the traffic engineering department. Our department has 5 staff members that oversee all of those things that we just talked about. I also am in charge of reviewing and approving traffic-specific plans. As a licensed engineer, I do stamp and certify those plans to be built.
James, let's have you tell us about your role within traffic engineering and your day-to-day responsibilities.
Yeah, so my role has a greater focus on moving projects and initiatives forward. I work closely with our traffic operations division, and I do a lot of design work for traffic signals and road safety projects. So in traffic, we design the timings and control the traffic as it moves throughout the city. What's exciting about my role is every day is something different and a new problem to solve.
Phil, let's talk about Public Works in general, because this year we're investing $41.4 million citywide. That's streets and roads and sidewalks and alleys and trails. From your perspective, what does that mean to be part of a team where we're doing so much good work here in the community?
Well, it's exciting that we are directly impacting our neighborhoods and where people live, and I think that's very important that the work that we do is visible, and then it's improving everybody's lives day to day. So traffic engineering, our emphasis is on the safety aspect of all of those projects. So, and we hear frequently from our neighbors about things that could be improved, some things that may be flying under the radar. And so it's exciting to be a part of a very nimble department that seems to get things done efficiently and as quickly as we possibly can.
James, wanted to get your thoughts as well. This is a great time to be part of the Public Works team because we have those financial resources where we're able to do so many more projects than we were before. Your take on being part of the team and so much positive work taking part in the community.
Yeah, one of the exciting things about being part of Public Works is that we're really involved with just about everything that's happening in town. Whether it's a public project or private developments going on, in some way, shape, or form, we've got our hand in either reviewing the developments that are going on or having a hand in approving or helping design the access points. So with all the work that's happening, it's really satisfying to be able to touch so many different projects around the community. And even when we hear complaints about construction and traffic, right? It really tells us that the community is noticing all of the work that Public Works is doing.
So when we think about Public Works, our residents, neighborhoods, businesses may think of just that traditional infrastructure piece, but it's really about enhanced quality of life, that economic development component of it. So Public Works is really touching a lot of different areas. Why is that so important for our community?
Well, I think having the experts in how to build transportation, being engaged with our neighbors and businesses day to day is very important. That way we know how to best suit their needs.
Switch gears a bit. I know we talked about some of the projects that benefit the city citywide. We recently, the three of us, were out at the Parnell Avenue Bridge. That was one project that we completed earlier this year. Talk about the significance not only of that project, but integrating all those different projects to have that smooth traffic flow throughout the city.
Yeah, so the Parnell Bridge project was one of our big capital projects with our bridge program, obviously. That kind of mirrors the work being done on the Bluffton Road corridor right at Broadway. All of those projects are important for the overall movement of maintaining our infrastructure through the city and making sure that everybody has a safe and efficient route to get to their place of work or enjoyment.
Phil, wanted to ask you about something that I know traffic engineering is excited about is the citywide traffic system upgrade and the implementation of video detection with our traffic signals. Describe that for us.
Sure. So at the beginning of this year, we got approval from City Council to make a purchase of all of our traffic controllers throughout the city. So we actually maintain every single traffic signal in Allen County. So we are in the neighborhood of 400 traffic signals that we operate and maintain between City of Fort Wayne, INDOT, Allen County, New Haven, and Huntertown. So our existing infrastructure at our traffic signals was starting to age. All of the insides of those traffic controllers are about 10 years plus old, and really the technology is outdated. Some of those components are no longer manufactured here, and actually the company that we had purchased the controllers from no longer makes those. So we were really in a place where we needed to get upgraded to new technology and current technology. So that one of those parts is the traffic controller. The other part that you mentioned is the video detection. This is an exciting technology for us. Traditionally, a traffic signal will have to utilize the roadway loops in order to detect traffic. And people probably would see that as a big asphalt circle or hexagon cut into the ground. So that's literally a wire that gets buried into the roadway that through magnetism detects that vehicle driving over that loop. What video detection allows us to do is have a camera up at the intersections in order to sense when vehicles are at the traffic signal to let the signal know to start modulating its timings. One benefit of this video detection is that we can, when we do a resurfacing project in town, those loops are not getting milled back up again. So with video detection, there's no loops, there's no physical infrastructure to affect with those projects. So during construction season, and we should see that in the coming years as we increase the video detection throughout town, that even if a road's being resurfaced, that signal should be functioning the way it always has. So that's going to be a subtle difference that people may not notice, but it's going to be a big difference when it comes to maintaining traffic during construction season.
James, I know you've been very involved with that. Tell us about the recently constructed new signal at West Jefferson and Jefferson Office Park. We have some photos of that, but walk us through that project.
Yeah, so that project actually represents a public-private partnership with the new hotel that was being developed on the north side. It was an opportunity for us to have some cost share opportunity with the developer and also address some need from the opposing business park on the south side. So that was actually a project that we did primarily with our traffic operations division rather than having to contract it out. That was one where we used that video detection technology as well. And I just drove through that last night. It's operating perfectly. Another benefit to the video detection that Phil was mentioning about is the tangible cost savings that come with it. So the Bluffton Road Bridge that we have under construction right now, we actually changed it midway through the project to move over to that video detection. And the benefit that we got out of that is instead of cutting literal saw joints in the new bridge deck that we just paid millions of dollars for, now we can leave that bridge deck in good shape and hopefully have a longer lifespan out of it.
James, also tell us about Washington Center and Industrial. That's also a video detection project. Walk us through that endeavor.
Yeah, that's part of the ongoing Puffer Belly Trail Connection project. Another one where we're able to use the video detection for not only monitoring vehicles and detecting their movements and needs for the signal, but it also gives us an opportunity to have a live view of the intersection should we need it. There comes increased capacity of doing counts, of making changes over time. When minor things are changing, like construction projects, we're able to actually move those detection zones to make sure that it's operating in an efficient fashion going forward.
We're discussing the city's traffic engineering department with Phil LaBrash and James Wrights, who oversee that office. Pavement markings and traffic safety enhancements are also important projects that we're doing. Auburn and DuPont project and St. Joe Center Road project. I'll open it up. Phil or James, which one of you would like to take the lead on walking us through that project?
I can take the lead on that. So the Auburn and DuPont project, that project was constructed last year, and really it's, like you said, it's just mainly a pavement marking project, but it represents something much more than that and has an impact much more than just changing a line on a pavement. That project offsets the left turns at the intersection. That is a safety project that allows us to provide better sight lines for traffic that approaches the intersections and allows drivers to make better decisions when they're trying to judge the gaps in the road in order to make their left turns. So that is a high priority type project for us, and we hope to be doing those sorts of projects throughout the city in the coming years because of the smaller scope of work that's involved, but a higher impact for that scope of work.
Phil, can you also tell us about neighborhood speed limit changes and how that process works and where we're at now and maybe where we're going in the future?
Yes, so that's an exciting project that really people have been aware of for some time now. It is in the budget for our 2026 year, and I'm excited to say that we're going to be purchasing the materials and moving forward with converting all of the speed limit signs within our neighborhoods down to 25 miles an hour from 30 miles an hour. We believe that this is a change that we had already started doing via request directly from the neighborhoods. That was something that the neighborhoods could petition us to reduce the speeds if they felt like there were speeds that were too high in their neighborhood. We would go into people's neighborhoods, set up some radar speed signs, and provide some information to them about whether or not there is a speed problem in their neighborhood. But since that was a popular program to reduce speed limits, we decided to make the change citywide, that all neighborhoods will be reduced by that 5 miles an hour to 25. This will allow people to navigate the neighborhoods a little bit more comfortably, whether that's walking next to the road on a sidewalk or biking throughout on the streets and getting onto the trail network from their neighborhoods. We believe that this will provide a little bit safer and a little more comfortable place for people to get to the networks.
James, another project I know that you've been overseeing, striping efforts, the reconfiguration of Calhoun Street from Berry to Columbia Streets. That was a request of businesses near the Rousseau Center area. Tell us about that particular project and why that's a benefit to our downtown.
Yeah, that was a huge partnership opportunity again. So the businesses along the Calhoun corridor were actually corresponding with the Downtown Improvement District that brought it to our attention. And we realized that obviously with parking being a huge concern in the downtown area, there was also an inconsistency with the lane configuration on Calhoun, where you would go from 1 lane to 2 lane back to 1 lane type of thing. So what we did there was we actually worked with our transportation engineering side as well as the street department, where they came through and they resurfaced the Calhoun corridor from Main Street up to Columbia, actually Superior. And they were able to give us a blank slate to do the pavement pavement markings that we needed. So we worked with the businesses in the area, Downtown Improvement District. We even worked with the Courthouse Preservation Trust and the Sheriff's Office to make sure that what we were designing there worked for everybody. But we were able to add 8 new spots and redo the lane assignments to make that more efficient through that corridor.
What has the feedback been from not only the partners in the project, but from the general public?
Yeah, we've heard nothing but positive feedback on that. The businesses are happy to have parking that suits their needs. We're currently working with them right now to possibly redo the length of time that people can park there and make that more accommodating for them.
One of the things I like about serving in local government is how we can have these partnerships and positive interactions and get things done in a quicker fashion. Your thoughts on that, James? You had a lot of different people involved in that project, and ultimately it's for the betterment of Fort Wayne.
Exactly, and that's why we do our job in public service, right, is to make the difference in the community. So I love working on projects where we're able to make direct impacts to the community for the people that need them. And it was, again, a great opportunity to collaborate with the businesses, the Downtown Improvement District, the county, the courthouse, everybody.
Phil, your thoughts on those collaborations and partnerships? I know earlier on you mentioned working with the county, with the state, with Huntertown, New Haven. Yeah. James, an example here of working with local businesses and other government jurisdictions.
Yeah, communication is actually in traffic engineering's mission statement, that not only are we talking about infrastructure projects and whatnot, but our department is concerned about communicating these changes and how we are making changes to the network. Yeah, we have to navigate a lot of different jurisdictions being in Allen County, and we're actually the largest land area county in the state. So there's a lot of lane miles that connect from Allen County to Fort Wayne. INDOT operates US 27 through the middle of town. The busiest streets in the city are INDOT-owned streets, so we have to have a close relationship with those entities in order to provide an efficient and safe network.
James, wanted to ask you about the Portage and Taylor intersection. That's another major project that you're the lead on. Tell us about that effort.
Yeah, that project actually originated as a complaint about speeds on Portage. So we were able to do a speed study and determine that improvements needed to be made. There were also issues with the intersection sight distance right there at Portage and Taylor. So working with the neighborhood in that area, as well as the local business owners, particularly the Masonic Lodge at the intersection, we were able to get the land that we needed to perform our intersection realignment project. And basically what that did is it brought Portage into more of a perpendicular angle with Taylor. That way when drivers approach the stop bar, they're able to look both ways and properly judge the oncoming traffic. So with that, we were able to make it a safer intersection. That project is just wrapping up. We actually just got a compliment from Councilman Paddock that he received and conveyed over to us. So we believe the neighborhoods will be happy with the improvements that we made.
I know, Phil, you also do a lot of work as it relates to sidewalk investments. That's been a concerted effort for the city for a number of years. Here in 2025 alone, we're investing $7.5 million. First, tell us why sidewalks are so important for our local infrastructure, and then secondly, why we continue to make those investments for the safety of our residents.
Sure. So as I made my move over from assistant city engineer to traffic engineer, working with Sean, our director, he indicated that this is an initiative that followed me over to traffic engineering, and that he sees sidewalks as a critical part of traffic, and I agree with him on that. So it's exciting to be a part of a lot of different projects that are ongoing. This year we wrapped up the North Clinton Sidewalk project. That's sidewalks on both sides of North Clinton Street from Coliseum all the way up to St. Joe Center Road. That involved traffic signal upgrades, that involved retaining walls and drainage, and that was a pretty expansive project, and it really transformed the look of North Clinton Street in that area, and should provide a very safe area for folks to walk. Talking about future projects, INDOT, we're partnering with INDOT on a sidewalk project that will construct sidewalks along Coliseum from the interchange at Goshen Goshen all the way through town and into New Haven. So that North Clinton sidewalk will connect up with that future NDOT sidewalk to provide people a safe way to walk between all the different businesses and restaurants and opportunities to shop and eat. We're also working on designing a sidewalk on St. Joe Center Road between Laymeyer Road and Arlington Parkway. That will provide connectivity for a school there, and should be bid out here later this year. Same goes for Trier Road. We are continuing the improvements along that whole corridor from Coliseum all the way through to Maple Crest now. And that will also provide connectivity for our schools and provide a safe place for people to walk. And all of these projects, there's a demonstrated need for someone to safely walk next to the road. And so the importance of providing a dedicated space really separates the fast-moving vehicle traffic from slower-moving pedestrians.
Phil, also wanted to ask you about, we've talked about this a little bit earlier, but want to continue the conversation about that public engagement. Mayor Tucker has made a concerted effort to get out into the neighborhoods. We did 6 neighborhood walks this year, 1 in each council district. I know you and I had the opportunity to walk together in the 1st district. That was the last walk of the year. Just tell us about, from Public Works side of things, why it's important to be part of those and get feedback from the public.
Yeah, absolutely. So being boots on the ground in a neighborhood really changes your perspective of the work that's being done. It also gives you a granular look at things. As engineers, we try to efficiently look at as many data points as possible and try to utilize technology in order to get an idea of what's going on. But really, you don't understand what's going on until you're there with your own eyes and walking the sidewalks and seeing things and talking with neighbors. And they're the folks that are using it every single day, so they know what their pain points are, and they can tell you exactly how they would do things, and which is very helpful. And it's also great to collaborate with other folks at the city, not just Public Works, but our police department. They're involved with those walks, and community development seems to spearhead coordinating those walks, and so it's really great to collaborate amongst the people at the city as well.
I want to also ask you about our concerted efforts to be a welcoming, inclusive, and accessible community. We work with the League on a regular basis. I have regular meetings with their Inclusion Institute. Public Works has regular meetings with the entity to make sure we're doing all we can to help individuals with disabilities. Tell us about your role in that effort and why that's so important.
Sure. I meet with them quarterly via a Zoom call, and we discuss their pain points and go over some projects where they believe that we could increase connectivity for people with disabilities. A lot of times, and I also collaborate with Nick Jarrell of our right-of-way department on that. Not only is it new infrastructure that's needed to help with the connectivity, but also repairing existing infrastructure. Nick does a lot of work with sidewalk leveling, repairing ADA curb ramp panels and making sure that those are traversable for people. So again, we meet quarterly there, but then annually we have a nice open forum with a bunch of people where we can give them updates on what we're doing at Public Works, give them access to what we're doing and what our day-to-day looks like, and also take questions, and it doesn't have to be related to anything Public Works does, but we're there we have a lot of information as we work at the city, so it's fun to be able to communicate and have a back and forth and understand the important things to them.
James, I want to ask you about some of the technology-related things that I know that you're very much involved with. The TREC website that Phil alluded to earlier, give us a little bit of an update on where we're at. We're making some upgrades there, and then also your experience on the technology side of things with Public Works.
Yeah, so we touched on this a little bit ago, but TREC stands for Traffic-Related Events and Closures. It is basically our live traffic map of all restrictions and closures that are happening in town. It's maintained by the traffic engineering team, but we also work in association with our right-of-way department for the permits that kind of feed in the information about those restrictions. So we just worked with our IT department on revamping that entire website. Trek has actually been out for a couple of years now, but it was due for a makeover. So some of the improvements that we've made are when people visit the site trekthefort.com, they can view a map that has line work that indicates whether or not a road has a restriction or a closure on it. We also post our pavement markings where those things are happening at the time. On the left-hand side of the screen, there's a table that shows in tabular form what all the closures and restrictions are, as well as the upcoming ones as well. There is new functionality for subscribing to an email. So every day, they'll get an email based on quadrants of the city that they select, what closures and restrictions are both ongoing and upcoming. That way people on their commute into work or wherever they're going, they can see what routes are impacted. We are working to finish up a integration that will take that information directly to the Waze mapping system, which will then feed into Google Maps as well. So again, getting that information right into people's pockets. We're also working with the Allen County Highway Department on getting them on board with the same system. That way we have a unified mapping system for everybody in the county. This map is best for our arterials and collector streets, so the larger, more major roads throughout the city, for finding information on utility or construction projects that are happening, as well as who to contact for those individual segments that they need information on.
We would really encourage the public to visit the Trek website. It's a great resource not only for our local residents and neighborhoods, but our media partners as well. James, also wanted to ask you about the City of Fort Wayne launched a new website earlier this year. Your initial thoughts on that and how that's an overall benefit to the Public Works Division.
Are you referencing Engage?
Cityoffortwayne.org.
Oh, cityoffortwayne.org.
Right.
Yeah, brand new revamp to the city website. With that came a lot of coordination on all the department side for making sure that all the information on there is both current and relevant. So we've been spending a lot of time internally in traffic engineering to make sure that we're providing the best standards that we can, that all of our procedural stuff for engineers and developers are going to be accessible, as well as making sure that all the maps, such as our parking meter location map and such, is all updated and has good information for the public.
So we hope residents and the public are enjoying our new cityoffortwayne.org. It's a nice complement as well to the engage.cityoffortwayne.org. And Phil, less than a minute left in the program. Why is the Engage site so important to the work that Public Works does?
Yeah, so Engage is a kind of a next level deeper from the cityoffortwayne.org site in that it focuses specifically on projects and ongoing work. There's a lot of great information there. It also gives the public an opportunity to directly engage via email or polls or other things that might be available for a project. And we think that it's very important because it helps kind of filter out some of the information and provide exactly what you're looking for. So if you're living on a particular street, you can search that particular street and find exactly what's going on.
Well, I've really enjoyed this conversation as we learn more about the Traffic Engineering Department. Phil and James, thanks so much for being on the program.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks, John.
Thank you for watching Public Works in your neighborhood. We'll look forward to seeing you again next time.